Hello everyone, Nadine here. I thought I would do a YouTube review of Brian's deck and also the book called Brian's Guide to Working with Spirit, both by Rhiannon Falconer. I thought I would do this because I suppose they're quite a unique book and deck, and I would totally encourage you to get at least the book and read through the book. Initially I got them together and I started working with the deck as soon as I got it, but I found that as soon as I started reading the book, the deck seemed to make a bit more sense to me. And what I love about the deck, or rather the book, is how easy it is to kind of hear Brian talking. It's as if Brian is talking as he's writing the book, or as he has written the book, and it's basically advice from him and with Rhiannon on how to be able to work with your own guides. They encourage you to do this. As you all know, Brian is Rhiannon's guide, and it's really cool that she's been able to share him with us. And I've only recently started doing this, or working with Brian and this book, in the last 2 days. And a lot of the times it's felt as if, like, very deja vu, like I'd been there before kind of thing, certain things that they've written. So a lot of the things for me have been a really positive confirmation that I'm doing something right, or I must be doing something right. So the one thing I love about Brian on the back of the cards is it's almost like he stood at a gate, at the back of a gate. And in Rhiannon's book, she talks about a particular meditation technique where you're basically out in a field and you'd be drawn to meet your guide in this kind of setting. And to me that kind of looks how you'd be meeting Brian. So I have actually tried the meditation technique that Rhiannon uses in the book, and I have met my one main guide at the moment. And it's funny, this was one of the things that I felt I'd done before, slightly differently, but it definitely had that deja vu feeling. And I've used a meditation technique where I've basically tried to connect to certain parts of my own personality, using tarot cards, but using them to encourage me to proactively better myself. And you kind of go through a cave out into an open area. A lot of the times I've actually ended up on a beach and I've met my guide that way, and he's not so much, actually he has been a lot like Brian with his beard, but my guide has been a lot taller, a long flowing cape or cloak, and also with a beard but long flowing white hair, almost like a wizardy kind of person. And whenever I've seen my guide or been in touch with my guide, he's been kind of stood, and I've seen the air kind of blowing around and making his hair seem to be blowing in one particular direction. He feels, or at least seems, quite free, kind of wispy, and his cloak has also been kind of blowing. There's been a breeze around, and when I used Rhiannon's technique in the book, that came through as well. Same kind of thing, but obviously in a field situation. So I'll just show you one or two of the cards as well. I've just randomly picked one before I started this video, just to kind of give you an idea of the kind of advice or the answers that Brian would offer in these cards. And this one says, heaven sent. And it says, this is the answer to your dreams. Stay grounded and focused and say thank you to our Creator. So one of the things that is quite important that Rihanna points out in the book is when you are in contact with your guide and you're able to either speak with them or to channel through other people or guides, it's important to always protect yourself and ground yourself, and also to finish it all off by saying thank you. I do love the little tips and ideas and the practical, methodical ways that Rhiannon goes through the book. So I would even go as far as using it as like a recap of maybe things that you've been doing at the moment, if you're so inclined. And thank you, Rhiannon, for such a lovely deck and a book.